past that every day on his way home from school, this little pet store. One day he got the courage and he walked in the pet store. And he said to the storekeeper, he says, "Mister, you got any dogs?" And the storekeeper said, "Yes, son." He says, "We do have dogs here. They're at the back, right at the back over there." The little boy looked and wandered down. Here was a pen full of little puppies. And he said, "Mister." "Yes, son." "Well, mister, can I hold one of those little dogs?" He said, "Son," he says, "there's nobody else in the store. Would you like me to lift you over the gate of the pen there, the fence of the pen, and let you inside there?" "Oh," he says, "Mister, that'd be wonderful." And so the man picked the little boy up and put him in with the dogs. The little boy had never been around so many dogs in his life. He just was dreaming of owning a dog someday. And he picked one up and loved the dog. And then he put it down and he'd pick up another dog. Oh, he just held them so close, petted the dogs, stroked their head. He loved them. The storekeeper was watching and he just thought to himself, well, this little boy's never going to buy a dog. He can't afford to buy a dog. And just about that time, the little boy says, Mister, and he says, "Yes, son." He said, "Well, how much are these dogs?" "Oh," he said, "listen." He says, "I've got a sale going on." He says, "These dogs are all $10. But son, if you see a dog you want, you better hurry and get the money quick because these dogs are going real fast." Oh, boy looked up at the man. He says, "But mister," he says, "you don't understand. I won't have any difficulty with my dog. My dog will be here." The storekeeper thought to himself, boy, the little boy doesn't realize. He says, now son, he says, I told you, these dogs are going fast. Don't delay if you want a special dog. Oh, the little boy assures him, he says, "Don't worry about it. My dog will be here." And with that, the little boy got out of the pen and he walked back to the front door, and the doorbell rang, and as he opened the door, and he clanged shut. And the little boy went home as fast as he could. Well, when he got home, he says, "Hey, Dad," he says, and this happened long ago, but he says, hey, Dad, can I wash your car? He says, "I want to make some money." And the dad says, "Yeah." He says, I'll give you 50 cents if you wash my car. Like I said, this happened a long time ago, and it happened in rural Texas. And so the little boy says, "Great, I'll wash your car." And he washed the car and had that car just shining spotlessly. And then he ran across the street to the little old lady that lived across the street, and he says, Oh, Mrs. Smith," he says, can I cut your lawn? And he says, "Your lawn looks like it hasn't been cut. Can I cut your lawn? I'm trying to earn some money. I've got something special I want to do." And she said, well, yes, son, if you'll do the front yard and the backyard," she says, I'll give you $1. He says, $1 you will? He says, I'll do it. And so he cut that lawn, and then he went down the neighbor, and he didn't have enough at the end of the day, so the next day he gets up, goes to school, comes back home, and he starts going where he left off, goes to the next neighbor, and it wasn't long before he had his $10. But when he realized it, that he had the $10, in fact, he looked at the calendar, and a whole week had come and gone. And he said, I've got my 10. I'm going back and going to get my dog. And so he walked down the street with his $10 in his fist. And he went in the door and he saw the shopkeeper and he says, "Hi, mister." He says, I'm back to get my dog. The shopkeeper says, "Listen, son," he says, "so many of these dogs," he says, I was only selling them for $10. And he says, "So many people have come and bought those dogs." He says, he's trying to prepare the boy. He says, "Don't be surprised if your dog's not there." But he says, I'll let you have any dog you find back there for $10. The little boy says, "Oh, thank you, mister." But he says, "My dog will be there." And he went back to the pen and was looking into the pen. And he says, well, mister, can I get back in the pen? And the big man said, "Yes." He says, "Let me help you." He lifts him up and puts him back in the pen. And he's looking at all the little dogs are kind of jumping up on his legs. And there was his dog. And he picked up the little dog that he had chosen, held him close to his chest, and loved the dog. He was kissing the dog, and petting the dog, and just thinking, this is the most wonderful dog in the world. And he said, "Mister," he says, "I've found my dog. Can I bring him up?" The man said, "Sure, bring him up." So So the little boy hopped over the fence and brought his dog up to the counter. When the storekeeper saw the dog, he says, "Oh, son," he said, "You've made a mistake." He says, "Son, you don't want that dog." The little boy said, No, mister, aren't you selling this dog?" "Oh, yes, son, I'll sell that dog. I'm going to sell that dog." Well, that's the dog I want." "Oh, no, son, you don't want that dog. That dog's been sick and that dog's lame. In fact, son, that dog's crippled. He'll never get to run and play with you like the other dogs." The little boy looked at that dog. He says, "No," he says, "you don't understand. This is my dog. This is the dog I want." And with that, the little boy put his fist out with his $10 in it. The man counted it out and he says, "Okay, son, it's yours." And the man watched as the little boy started walking towards the door. And for the first time,